Teams is a fantastic collaborative tool, okay? But is it right for everyone? So if you haven't used it, do. It's in the operating system of Windows. So for me, I've got lots of product groups. I've got call recording, phones, etc. And so I've got all these Teams groups with the up-to-date marketing. I use it day in, day out. I set up meetings with customers. It's brilliant for me. Is it right for everyone in the business? Not sure. That's something you have to kind of decide if you want to deploy Teams. You've also got to look at your network infrastructure, make sure it can support video, because when people start using Teams, they use video a lot more. And also, you need to think about contact center requirements and analog requirements. So if you do have a contact center within your business, Teams can't really cope with that. It can make and receive calls, you can transfer a call, but that's about it. But it's amazing for the collaborative tools, but less so on the contact center. So you've got to make these considerations when you're thinking about deploying Teams. Now, at the beginning of the year, so Teams has been around for a couple of years. At the beginning of the year, they introduced voice this year. Okay, so you can now make and receive calls. You can either buy Microsoft's calling plan, okay, or you can utilize your own Gamma SIP trunks. We'll use them as an example. Or your trunking provider, you can connect in by something called Teams Direct Routing. And this is where audio codes come in. We have a session border controller that connects your Teams users to Gamma SIP trunks. Okay. So this is the fluffy, wonderful connectivity diagram. Sorry, my marketing slides aren't great, but look, it shows you the example. I've got my Teams users, audio code session border controller. By the way, that can be hosted, that can be in Azure, and in fact, you can download a free copy of our session border controller, software session border controller, wherever you like. We give you 3 sessions to play with, so Blackstar can help you do proof of concept for this kind of stuff. But basically, you might have some warehouse workers, you might have DECT, you might have all these kind of people that are still stuck on the telephony platform. There might be analog requirements there, all right? So being able to move them to a cloud environment is actually quite tricky, okay? Or you might have a contact center. But here, the audio codes SBC or session border controller can help mediate between all of those devices. So now my Teams user can contact the phone system user, can contact the contact center user, and they can all use the connectivity to the SIP trunks. So this is a real game changer for people that are trying to move to a cloud model but are finding it struggling to do so. They can now using our session border controller. Okay, we do a lot of products actually. So obviously we work with Microsoft, but we work with BroadSoft, Cisco, Avaya, Gamma, you name it. Anybody in the voice technology world, they work with us. We have gateways that support 2 analog ports, so if you want fax machine, door entry system connected in, all the way up to 288 ports. So people like the NHS, where they have large analog requirements, we have gateways there. We have a plethora of different type of gateways and session border controllers, but most popular, everybody's going virtual, well not everybody, but about 70–80% now, it's all a virtual environment, it's AWS, it's Azure, you can download it and do the connectivity piece. And phones, I even laugh at myself, who buys phones these days? But people do, we're in that marketplace, and if you've got connectivity using our session border controllers, you can do some clever stuff with the phones as well. Contact us if you need evaluation units. Our CloudBond solutions, they are Skype for Business in a box. It's a kind of dying product in our range, but it's still available. So if you've got Skype for Business online users and you want PSTN connectivity or SIP connectivity, you can use our CloudBond deployed in a certain way to get that connectivity working. But it's quite clunky and expensive. I'll be honest with you. It's only if you really have a need case. With Teams, you just need a session border controller. It's so much more simpler. And then across the top, we've got call recording, which is specifically for Skype for Business and Teams. We've got OVOC, which is, if you can imagine, you've got multiple gateways, multiple sites, and you want to manage it all from one pane of glass. We've got a product there as well. Okay. Handsets, I'm not going to go through these. I just wanted to explain a couple of terminologies that Microsoft use. So we manufacture handsets. We designed ours for Skype for Business in the first place. They had to go through this 3-PIP program, third-party interop program. So once you're certified with 3-PIP, you're then certified for Teams as well. So in fact, you don't need a specific Teams native handset. You can use any 3-PIP handset to work in a Teams environment. All right? This one has a sidebar. This one's touchscreen with an optional extension one. And this is where it gets interesting. So previously, it was our software running on the phones. Now, Microsoft said, actually, We want some of the device. We want that consistent experience between mobile, laptop, and specific phone devices. So this is actually Microsoft's it's running on an Android operating system, actually. And you can make and receive calls from there. It's a slightly cut down client. Again, we've got products here for evaluation purposes as well, so come talk to me, understand. You can flick this phone from 3-pip to Teams native, okay? But it's a pretty good phone. I'd say it's an early adoption experience at the moment, but because it's cloud-based on the client, you know, you can update it from the web, get an improvement. Every couple of weeks, a new feature comes out, or it slightly gets better. It's quite an interesting experience. And we support Bluetooth and Wi-Fi as well. We can flick this phone between 3-pip mode and Teams native. And just to show the investment that we've got, Audio Codes have got, you know, it's basically a big Android tablet with a handset attached to it, but it suits some people's perspective. So we hope to have this out in sort of December, January. Okay. I don't know why I've done that, but if you get a copy of the slides, I put lots of useful links in here, so you can get in contact or you can learn about how to use the phones. And I just wanted to briefly touch on some of the added benefits that you can have with our handsets and our session border controllers. So if you've got a remote office and you want to put a local session border controller there to get connectivity to that local office and use our Teams phones, and you lose that connectivity to Microsoft Teams, we have a little bit of resilience there. So people do get paranoid about 999 calling and emergency dialing. It's a little bit antiquated in the advent of a mobile, but still, it's very important for some businesses to have that kind of functionality. So it gives us a bit of a unique. And in terms of managing, so we've got our One Voice Operations Center, so you can get a nice topology view of your entire voice network. You can actually set up alarms, management, call quality and monitoring. And you can actually drill down into some of the pie charts here. So you can see here there's a little red bar. I can actually click on there, and I can get right into our session border controller, and I can see a failed call on a specific level. So if you want to centralize your IT teams for a multiple site opportunity, then this is good. Okay. The good news is, have I done something wrong? There we go. So final slide. Just to summarize, we have a session border controller to allow you to connect your Teams users to your existing telephony and help you migrate to the cloud. We've got a number of devices that you can evaluate from us, and we've got management applications that you can add on optionally. So it's a good partner to work with. Okay, thank you very much.